Going gun control never works for Democrats before a midterm or general election. Go all the way back to the 90s. What was the legislation that pushed it over the top and made it to where Republicans ended up getting the majority in the House? It was the Brady bill. It was gun controls back in the 90s. I'm going to look at some aspects of this because you need to be concerned. I don't care if you are not a hobbyist. Do you know what a ghost gun is? You guys know what ghost guns are? Because you hear the term all the time. First, let's identify what it actually is and what it actually isn't. A firearm, Americans, and this is law, this is federal law, 18 U.S.C. 922 A through Z, basically. It covers all of this. If you are a hobbyist and you enjoy building things at home, some people like model ships, some people like to collect stamps, some people like to do all kinds of stuff, some people like to, create and chop up and do their own motorcycles. Some people like to do vehicles. I have a friend who's obsessed with Airstream. They like to do that stuff. Some people like to make their own firearms that they themselves privately use and will privately possess. They don't sell them. They just make them at home. Because there's also a federal law on if they start making them at home and selling them, then they have to serialize them. Serial number is just the little number that's stamped on the gun. The term ghost gun is as stupid as the term assault weapon. They are both from a unicorn's butt. I don't know how to put it. It is that dumb. It is a stupid phrase used by uninformed people to describe something they don't understand. That is the term ghost gun. It's stupid. Americans can get firearm kits like an 80% receiver, or a frame in the case of a pistol, and you can make your own firearm. You can't sell it. You can make it and keep it yourself. That's perfectly legal. It has been legal since the beginning of time here in the US of A. Now, what the administration is arguing here is something that is based on a lie. And I'm going to get into the stats of this. Of course, you know I am. And I have a deeper dive piece coming out in the newsletter. This is what you need to know. The argument that ghost guns are causing all this crime is stupid. Who caused the crime?
The criminal.
The criminal. And what contributed to that? Restorative justice. Hell, Democrats did more to create an increase in crime than a law-abiding gun owner. Democrats with their Soros-funded DAs, Democrats with their restorative justice, wherein they coddle the criminal and rob the victim of any kind of judicial satisfaction. Democrats that reduced bond to nothing in New York and then had to walk that back. Democrats, which were releasing rioters in St. Louis after they burned down buildings, including a building in which a friend of mine had their shop. Democrats in California, needles and feces, not even charging people for theft anymore. Why do you see so many smash and grabs? Because they ain't even charging it in California. You have an increase in crime in every major American city. It's driven by recidivism, which is driven by restorative justice. The idea that you're barely going to give the criminal the minimum. And you're shocked when they reoffend. And they're back in jail and then they're released. And you're shocked when they reoffend again and then they're back in jail and they're released a year, 15 months later. Which is nothing to people who are obsessed with having a life of crime. And so Democrats they have to come up with a way to explain this. They have to come up with a way to explain to the American people why it is that there is this increase in crime. It cannot be their policies. They can't sell that to people. The increase in crime is a direct result of their defund the police movement. What did you think was going to happen? So now here we are, increase in crime. And whenever you have bad times economically, crime increases statistically. And so that is helping to drive it. And Democrats are standing there like, well, hell, I guess we'll go after the gun owners.